Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So, before we dive into today's episode, which is Jeff Lewis is unleashing on his disdain for Dorit Kemsley. Like, what had happened, Jeff? Like, I need to know, are Jeff Lewis and Kyle Richards really close? Is that what is going on here? Or is Jeff Lewis just like us and has always seen Dorit for who she is? Very fake, very phony, very mean, very pretentious. And now that we're seeing more of the real Dorit, which is what he talks about with Garcelle as well, when Garcelle goes on his podcast, she's like, yeah, Dorit's very fired up. She's very activated. And he was like, yeah, she's kind of like really bitchy this season. Now we're seeing the real Dorit. Anyway, before we dive into what he is saying about her split with PK, blaming alcoholism, her parenting skills, and more, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. It is a fun and easy way to support the show, and I would really appreciate it. Plus, I do have clips of him talking on the Nick Viall podcast that we will listen to as well, so stick around for that. So, this is according to Reality Blurb. It says Jeff Lewis appeared on Nick Viall's podcast earlier this week, where he offered some insider information in regard to Dorit Kemsley's separation from Paul PK Kemsley. 6 months into their split, and as the decision is highlighted on new episodes of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Jeff suggested that PK's alcoholism wasn't nearly the factor that it's been made out to be on the show, as he hinted that Dorit and her efforts to remain famous were to blame. Side note, Jeff, you are me, I am you, because I have said this time and time again that I think Dorit is ready to trade up. I think she wants to find a man who is younger, who is hotter, and who is richer than PK. I think she feels like she's gone through this glow up. Sutton said, anybody can be pretty with plastic surgery. I'm not knocking people who get work done. You want to nip, you want to tuck, do you, boo boo, knock yourself out. It's not my place to judge what people choose to do to their bodies. However, I do think that there does need to be a level of honesty and transparency about it. Not that you owe anybody your business, but I think that when questioned about it, either say it's none of your business or be honest. Whereas I think Dorit, in my opinion, lies about the work that she has gotten done. So that's kind of where I land on that. But I think Dorit thinks she's glowed up. She's super thin. She has, the new hair, new face, new body, the new clothes. Whether these things are fake, whether these things are real, is neither here nor there. She has her 15 minutes of Bravo fame. She's getting her little Bravo check. I think Dorit is ready to trade up. And I think that's really the root cause of their issues. Okay. I'm a little bit Team PK, and I'll tell you why. Because I have insider information, Jeff began on the Viall files. I know we're trying to blame it all on his alcoholism. I really don't know the status of his drinking, but I will say I did hear that he felt like she had changed since the show, and that the show has become a major priority. And I think over, and I think and I think after all, he felt, and I'm not speaking for him, over his marriage and his family. So she was making the show a major priority over him and the family, Jeff alleged. Jeff went on to state that he's never seen Dorit at the park where her and PK, two kids, son Jagger, at the park with her two children, Jagger and Phoenix. I'm sure she's gone to the park with her kids, but look, I don't always go to the park with my kids. In fact, I go once in a while. Most often my nanny takes my daughter, but when I've been, and also when my nanny's been, she's never seen Dorit with those kids, he stated. Woo. While Jeff continued, saying that Dorit's absence from the park didn't mean anything, he didn't seem convinced that she was an active parent. She could be a good mother, behind closed doors, but she's never been there. As far as I've seen, she's never been there, he noted. Okay, now I do have a couple of clips of Jeff talking about Dorit and PK and the whole situation, so we can play those and talk about them. But let's just sort of flesh that out a little bit and also give like my thoughts and opinions on everything. I agree with Jeff, and I've said this before in previous videos, that the whole PK is an alcoholic storyline is not working. she's saying, oh, he was an alcoholic and that's why we're getting divorced. But then he said to Mauricio, I got sober. I have a sober coach, life coach. And then once I got clear, I realized I don't want to be with her. So is the fact that he was drinking why she wanted to get divorced? Or is it because he got sober and then he wanted to separate? Now, she has also confirmed that the separation was PK's idea, that it was what he wanted to do. It was what he initiated. And she's saying she's not going to fight for a marriage to be married to someone who doesn't want to be married to her. So was it his drinking or was it his clarity that he realized I no longer want to be married to someone who doesn't prioritize me or the kids? Now, I'm not saying PK is an angel because I do think he has put her and the kids through a lot with the bankruptcies, with the alleged fraud schemes, alleged insurance scams, alleged home invasions, owing, the gambling debts, the lawsuits, the fraud, all of that. My question is, was Dorit a willing participant in these alleged fraud schemes? If she was a willing participant, then it is what it is. You know what you signed up for, you participated in it. Or was he doing all of this without her knowing? Word on the street is their home is now in pre-foreclosure because they missed 4 mortgage payments. That's just what's been put out there. You guys can Google it. I'm just saying what's out there alleged. That's stressful, that's embarrassing. But is she participating in these grifting schemes and scams and not paying bills? She's been sued for allegedly not paying her in-home nurse after her plastic surgeries. She's been sued for allegedly not paying back investors in her Beverly Beach swimsuit line. So she's also had her own, without PK, lawsuits on not paying bills, on being a fraudster. So it seems like she's a willing participant. So is it PK's fault that they're in this situation, or is this a team effort that they're in this situation? Now, let's see what Jeff has had to say about all of this stuff.
I'm a little bit team PK, and I'll tell you why.
What?
Because I have insider information that he had a real problem. I know that we're trying to blame it all on his alcoholism.
That was weird. Every scene. Did you know PK's an alcoholic?
Yeah, full-blown alcoholic. I really don't know the status of his drinking, but I will say I did hear that he felt like she has changed since the show, and that the show has become a major priority. And I think he felt, and I'm not speaking for him, I'm just telling you what I heard, his marriage and his family. Now, again, I'm sure she's gone to the park with her kids, but look, I don't always go to the park with my kid. In fact, I go once in a while. Most often my nanny takes my daughter. But when I've been, and also my nanny's been, never seen Dorit with those kids. Now that doesn't mean anything. I mean, she could be a good mother, behind closed doors, but she was just never been there. As far as I've never seen her there. And
what if she's like, if I'm going to take the kids, we have to go to a park in well,
this is Beverly Hills Park. This is all this is the Beverly Hills Park. This is Coldwater Park.
Oh.
So.
I mean, that is some super shade to talk about her parenting skills. Like, she's never with the kids. He's team PK. I've always been a fan of PK. I like PK. I would never go into business with him. I would never do anything like that. But I do like PK. And to be honest with you, I like PK more than I like Dorit. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I do. But let's see what else Jeff has said about Dorit in the past.
What are your thoughts on Dorit and PK?
Well, I had known that they were living apart long before.
Long before Erica said that at BravoCon?
Long before. I have a mutual friend of PK's. I knew long before that he was living in a hotel. And, it's been going on for a long time.
Now, what Jeff is referring to is those pesky rumors that have since been confirmed that PK was living in one of the Beverly Hills, whatever the Beverly Hiltons, I forget which one it was, a very expensive high-end Beverly Hills hotel for a long time. They would also say, oh, PK's working, he's in London, but he's living in a hotel as well. Those rumors have gone back a long time. And, this season it's been confirmed. Even Sutton was like, it was either Sutton or no. It was Jennifer Tilly on the after show. And she was like, how does he afford that? Those hotels are very expensive, which again begs the question, what the hell is going on with them and their finances, not to be in people's pockets, but when you put it out there on a reality TV show for all of us to observe and to comment on, it is what it is. I wouldn't do this in real life, but I'm not on a reality show and neither are my friends. So with that being said, how are you affording living in very expensive Beverly Hills hotels while the home that your children live in, put Dorit to the side, whether you want to be with Dorit or not, but the home that your children are living in is now being foreclosed on, allegedly. That to me is a huge red flag. Like, if you are tired of Dorit, and her attitude and not prioritizing you and your children and her wanting to be famous and her whatever the case may be, allegations of her wanting to be with Mauricio, who knows what the hell's going on, infidelity maybe on both sides, who knows, right? Take care of the kids. Make sure your children are living in a place where they feel comfortable and they feel safe and that they're not going to have to move again. Like, the kids were home during the alleged home invasion, alleged insurance scam. Like, those poor children, take care of them. If you can't control Dorit, at least figure out, if I'm going to be living in this Beverly Hills hotel, let me make sure the home that my kids are in is stable and safe and secure. And that goes for PK and Dorit. She wants to be wearing Chanel and Louis Vuitton and YSL and, Gucci down and everything like that. But yet the home your children live in is being foreclosed on, allegedly. You're talking about wanting to wanting to homeschool your kids and all this other stuff. Well, make sure that they have a home to be schooled in. PK was like, send them to public school. Anyway, let's watch one last clip of Jeff talking, and then we will talk about what he also has to say.
I don't really love Dorit personally, but I like watching Dorit.
Have you met her personally?
Yes. She's blocked me on Instagram. I don't know what I said, but yeah, she's blocked me.
I kind of wish you remembered what you said.
I know, there's just so much. I tried to invite her to a party, and then I'm like, it's not going through. And then I'm like, she blocked me. Why did she block me? I ran into her BravoCon. She was walking really fast, like to her next event. And I was like walking behind her. And I said, hey, Dorit, you blocked me on Instagram. She's like, yeah, I probably did, because you probably said something shitty. And then and I laughed, and then she kept walking away.
Kind of iconic.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. Because I was like, yeah, I probably did.
I'm kind of impressed by her response, because a lot of people in her position I would have been like, did I? And like played dumb.
My assistant did it.
She probably knows exactly what I said, too.
Oof, 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 oof. So whose side are you on? Are you team Jeff Lewis or team Dorit? Or are you, like me and Jeff Lewis, team PK? So yeah, I mean, the math isn't mathing. I don't know what is going on with these people, but at the end of the day, I just hope their children are good. We do know that, I don't really like to report on the kids, but we do know that Jagger had been hospitalized for a while. So who knows what's going on with that. And then also, again, she put it on the show. She put her children on the show. When she first came on the show, remember that Jagger was nonverbal. Sometimes children, aren't as up to speed or as developed because of environment, because of the household. So who knows how long these issues have been going on. So my piece is, I hope the kids are okay. That's my only care when it comes to these people. But I want to know what you guys think. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And are you watching this season? Do you think PK and Dorit will ever get divorced? And what do you think is really going on behind the scenes? And what are your thoughts on Jeff Lewis? Is he to be believed? So with that, you guys, I'll talk to you next time. Bye.